This is Rick Knowlton of AncientChess.com presenting modern chess sets of the 20th century, designs by Josef Hartwig, Man Ray, and Max Ernst. The book I'd like to recommend is The Imagery of Chess, edited by Larry List. This has all of the major chess designs that were making waves in the early 20th century. In 1944 through 45, a special exhibit was put on collecting these modern ideas in chess design, and that exhibit was revisited early in the 21st century, which is the origin of this book. Larry List, the editor of this book, is a curator specializing in chess sets and chess exhibits. This book is full of articles, pictures, information. I highly recommend it. Larry List, here he is with Bob Dinsmore, another well-known collector, at a recent exhibit that Larry also curated. Now here's a typical board. This is the smaller one. It's made for the Bauhaus set. This board is made in China. It's got veneer on all sides. It's MDF inside and a natural wood on the outside. You can see that this set is made with a good deal of precision. It's made of boxwood, and then the black pieces are stained with a dark stain, much like the originals were. I'm going to set them up here for you. You'll see that the concept of this is extremely geometrical, and then there's a form follows function idea. The queen is just a cube with a sphere. The king is just a cube with a cube. Then when you get to the rook, the cube also represents the directions that it goes in sort of the square directions. The knight represents angular directions, and then of course the bishop very clearly here represents the diagonal directions. And by the way, these are difficult to carve. Very well done. The pawns are just small pieces. Josef Hartwig, a picture of him in those days. It all fits together very well in a box with a sliding lid. Altogether, a very clear modernization of the chess concept. Now, Man Ray, a very famous designer of the 20th century, has a classical idea. This is actually made by the Man Ray Trust. So this one is an authorized version, whereas the other sets I'm showing you are made by independent companies. Even the board here is authorized by the Man Ray Trust. The board and the pieces are made in Germany. The board is actually made of a MDF that's a fiberboard core, and it's got veneer on all sides. Now you notice even the edges of this board have veneer. The idea is to look as if it were made of actual solid block. The pieces are made of boxwood, stained on the black side, and you see they're in separate cells as they come, although some share a cell with another, in which case they have paper to keep them from rubbing each other. Now look at this: a pyramid, a cone, a violin end piece, just classical shapes from different parts of culture. An urn, a very long-standing shape in classical art. A cube, a very fundamental idea in geometry. And just setting these all up here now for you, the pawns are spheres with little pedestals that hold them up. The board here has squares of 2 inches, and that's just the right size. Here's a stock photo of the set. Here's one of my photos showing the set, and here's the original design on paper. Beautiful, classical, elegant, modern Man Ray, very famous designer. Now this board actually is made of solid blocks of wood. The squares are 2 1/4 inches Wedgwood and maple, something you can only get from an actual craftsman. The factories just don't make them that way anymore. Now let me show you the sizes here. These are the Bauhaus pieces, much too small for this board. This is the Man Ray set. They go on a 2-inch squares, but they fit well on the 2 1/4 inches. But look at this. These are the Max Ernst pieces, and they are huge. They are another order of magnitude. The tall, shapely piece is the queen. The king is sort of kicked back in a throne there with the big slant. And then very interesting, beautiful sculptural designs here. These pieces actually weigh, the whole set together, pieces alone, 6.5 pounds, which is extremely heavy for a set. They are weighted as well as being large to begin with. very well demonstrating the ideals of the modern art movement of the 20th century. These sets were not meant as museum pieces. There he is playing with a set. They were meant to be played with to actually replace the standard Staunton design of the 19th century that we still find so familiar. Please go to my website, AncientChess.com. I have sets like this for sale. I have a lot to tell you all about chess and chess history. This is Rick Knowlton of AncientChess.com presenting modern chess sets of the 20th century, designs by Josef Hartwig, Man Ray, and Max Ernst. The book I'd like to recommend is The Imagery of Chess, edited by Larry List. This has all of the major chess designs that were making waves in the early 20th century. In 1944 through 45, a special exhibit was put on collecting these modern ideas in chess design, and that exhibit was revisited